Hello friends, I have a great news for all of us. Our Indian superstar, the youngster R Praggnanandhaa has won his first game of the second round in this World Cup. Playing against a very strong and experienced opponent from Armenia, Gabrial Sargissian, he applied amazing technique after the opening, guys. Well, what happened in this game, I'm going to show you everything step by step. But before we go further, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are new here. And one more thing, for our youngster, don't forget to write Praggnanandhaa OP or Pragg OP in the chat, guys. Okay, now coming to the game, Praggnanandhaa was white in this position, Gabrial Sargissian was black. They started with e4, okay, then e5 was played, knight f3, knight c6, and now he played d4. This opening is called as the Scotch game, okay, when white goes for the center breakthrough quickly here. E into d4 was played, knight captures d4, bishop c5. Well, this knight is being attacked, so he moves to b3 square. Bishop is being attacked, bishop goes to b6 square, and now knight c3. Well, everything is normal. Knight g e7, bishop comes on g5, pinning this knight here over here. He castles in this situation and queen d2. Well, playing like this, Praggnanandhaa has shown that okay, his willingness to long castle in this situation. Okay, his opponent plays d6, opening up this bishop. Praggnanandhaa says like, okay, I wanted to castle, so I'm going to castle in this position without worrying about anything. His opponent plays queen e8, unpinning the knight on e7. Now he plays bishop b5, again pinning the other knight. What a comedy, right? Okay, he plays f6, hitting this bishop, then bishop goes back to e3 square. Now this bishop on d6 is being challenged. Now his opponent plays queen to f7, and now in this position Praggnanandhaa decides to consolidate in the center of the board. That's why he plays the next move, that is knight to d5. By playing the knight to d5, what is happening is like, okay, he's hitting here, and as well as here. But the main thing is that he is having more control in the center. And one more thing is there, guys. Whenever the knight arrives in the center of the board, it becomes like the octopus knight because it controls 8 square at the time. Here you can see all these squares are controlled by the knight. So that's why it is called as the octopus knight. And it is said that we need to exchange that knight. That's why Gabriel here captures on d5. He captures on d5. Now this d5 pawn is a very important pawn for white. Okay, bishop into e3 was played, queen captures e3, and knight comes on e5 square. But as I said earlier, we don't want this knight to be there forever because it will be like the octopus knight. That's why Praggnanandhaa goes for f4, kicking away this knight. Now the knight goes to d7 square, and now he plays rook h e1. Just like a very mature player, he brings out all his pieces in the game. Now both the rooks are playing, the knight is there, bishop is there, queen is also there. It means that all of white pieces are playing in the game. As they say, chess is a team game and all the pieces are like the players on the field here, and we need to make sure that each and every player is playing in the game. Okay, so he plays a6, the bishop is attacked, he plays bishop e2. And now you can see that bishop on c8 is a little bit awkwardly placed because in front of that bishop, the knight is there. If you want to get the rook in the game, first of all, you need to move the bishop. If you want to move the bishop, then you need to move the knight. It is a big chain of guys. Okay, so here he plays f5, maybe to control the e4 square, and the idea of knight f6 and knight e4 is there in this position. But still, I will say one thing, that playing f5 is like you are restricting your bishop more in this situation. Okay, now he plays queen c3, attacking on the c7 pawn, our only weakness in the position, knight f6 supporting the pawn. And now what to do? Well, your opponent is going to play knight e4, and we have to pay attention to our opponent's threat. That's why he plays bishop f3, not allowing his opponent to consolidate on e4 square. But still, in this situation, the bishop is not able to come in the game, because if you try to play bishop d7, obviously queen into c7, the pawn will be lost. Plus the d6 pawn is a weakness, b7 is a weakness, and black will be in a very big trouble. That's why in this situation, he decided to give up one pawn, and he plays knight e4, bishop captures e4, f captures e4, and now rook captures e4. By playing this, he gets the bishop in the game, but he has lost one pawn. Okay, and now he goes for the weakness of the c7 pawn by playing rook to c4, bishop g4. Okay, the bishop on d1 is rook on d1 is being attacked. He plays this move, again giving more support to the f4 pawn. See, one thing is there that if you go for this thing thinking that okay, you will be okay, but the problem is that queen into f4 check is coming, and the pawn will be lost, plus the pawn on h2 is also a weakness. And if you play this move by mistake, can you spot the tactic? Yes, it will be a disaster, because after queen f1 check, rook d1 is the first move, and after that queen d1 will lead to a check and mate. So that is not something which Praggnanandhaa wants to do in this position. That's why he plays rook d4, supporting the pawn on f4. Now the pawn on c7 is under attack, so he plays rook a8, supporting the pawn, and now queen to g3. Well, going for the bishop. He's saying like, okay, this bishop needs to be moved from this square. Bishop goes to f5 square, and now it's time for our knight to come in the game. So he plays knight a5, attacking the b7 pawn. b6 is played. Okay, the c6 square is always there for the knight, so he jumps on that square, and you can see the knight is threatening so many things. Okay, only if the e7 square is guarded by white's pieces. He plays rook c e8, and now it's time for us to go back rook to d1, because back rank checkmate problems might happen on the board, so you have to take care of the back rank. Okay, so he plays bishop d7, going for this knight on c6, which is very nicely placed. He plays b3, supporting this here, and now b5 is played. After b5, he plays rook c d4. The pawn is okay, he's just doubling the rooks. Bishop into c6. Well, I did not really like this move, but okay, he wants to neutralize the position. Maybe that's why he played this move. After this, it became a little bit simple technique, which he converted. He is one pawn up against a very strong player, 2600 player, and he did not show anything. Okay, he played king into d2, getting the king in the game. Rook d2 was also a possibility in this situation, but king is the most important piece in the end game, and he is preparing for it. Okay, he brings the king in the game. Now, as they say, rest is the matter of technique, but playing against a very strong opponent, it's always not that case. Your opponent is going to try some new tricks, and here his opponent is also trying some new things. He is trying to get some pressure over here. Rook might come here, and let's see how he neutralizes the attack. He plus top play h3. The queen comes on the c5 square. The rook is being attacked, so he plays queen c3, offering queen exchange. If you exchange the queens, then obviously the rook endgame will be much more easy. For example, if you capture here, this king will be moving towards the a6 pawn, and this rook, if he goes to the a8 square, then that is a very bad square for the rook, because it will be a very passive square, and then white will definitely get some winning advantage after some time. So he plays queen to f5, not exchanging the queens. He plays queen f3. Okay, again he plays queen to c5, and as they say, you need to centralize your pieces, especially the queen also in the center. Now in the end game, if the queen is centralized, then obviously you control many things. The c6 pawn is also very important. We need to protect that pawn. He plays queen h5. Maybe he is not understanding what to do. He plays queen e6 check, king to h8, and now it's time for us to attack. The rook on f8 is attacked, the c7 pawn is attacked, and it's kind of difficult. He plays rook e8, like last resource. He's trying to come here and give some checks, but we don't need to worry about it, because king will be having a very nice hiding space. So he plays queen into c7 without any fear. Now d6 pawn is also under attack. He plays queen e2 check, but king c3. Now king is going to hide on b2 square, guys. He plays b4 check and king b2. Finally, in this position, you can say hopeless position, because the pawn is going to queen. A very smooth victory by Praggnanandhaa. The d6 pawn is also going to fall. Here his opponent resigned. I hope that you enjoyed this small but very smooth game played by Praggnanandhaa. He is kind of assured to go into the third round, guys. All he needs to do is draw the next game, and he will be through to the third round. Well, we all are hoping that something great will happen from our youngsters. So guys, we will be meeting very soon with new video of this World Cup. Till that moment, take care, goodbye, and love you all. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you are new here. Love you all. Bye bye.